Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Builder Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 145 today and the Champions League group stages are back. We face Paris Saint-Germain in our second match at a group stage, a very difficult home game that one. Not at the best group in terms of a chance of reaching the last 16. And then TNS are our first opponents, a side that we'd normally expect to be our title rivals at the start of the year. But as you can see, the other four of our dream top five are making it. TNS absolutely nowhere near. So we'll take a look at that, the end of the Welsh transfer window, and see what happened for the other sides in the nation in Europe. If you're looking forward to it, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video, subscribe down below for daily FM21 content. Our mini niche Welsh experiment continues this Sunday, and we've got a brand new series coming for the weekends in September too. As well as this every weekday at 3:30. Lots to look forward to. You can catch up with the live streams in the eye above too. There's a link to the Twitch channel and I'd love it if you could follow us over there. And there's also the football podcast up there too. Thank you for your incredible support. Now let's go and have a look at our schedule and our transfer news, because we've had a more eventful end to the window than we normally do. If we start with the players that left the club, there were a few. We were here last time as Patrick Malone had just left to Hibernian. He's joined in centre midfield there by Christopher Broom as we trim the squad. £1.2 million for him. Another one where we got him in for absolutely nothing and have made a huge profit later down the line. A wonderful servant for the football club. But you can see last season, barely got a game. Didn't even get as many as Malone. He was joined by John Price, who went for £1.3 million to Bristol City. Now 29 years of age, not quite as good as the players we had. And we've got so many defensive backups who can play centre-half and hold in midfield. And lots of them are younger and homegrown at the club. So it made sense for Price to go. He was a brilliant servant again. Over 100 league appearances, loads of cup ones. And we made a profit on him. He was our first major signing really at 975 grand. And we managed to make a profit after 7 years of service. We can't ask for a lot more. The next one was Martin Pasiarek. So we tried to sell Scott McKenzie, who was our preferred option to sell on deadline day. Nobody would come in for him. So in the end, Pasiarek offered a loan at Brentford. We're not going to see how much he plays there. It doesn't look like a lot yet. And we can pull him back if we need to in January. But they're a good club with good facilities at the top of the Championship. We saw it with Kresimir Loza. Players do improve there, even if they don't play a huge amount. So Pasiarek on loan for the year, we get a little bit of money in. We did actually accept a £6.5 million offer from Preston. Unfortunately though, he rejected the move there, because that would have been too good to turn down. The last one was Yesten Weaver. Again, the preferred option for this year was probably to sell Stefan Matai. He rejected 3 clubs, including his preferred option in Aberdeen. So Weaver goes on loan to Fulham, where hopefully he'll keep his value, play a little bit of football in the Championship. And then next summer, if we can sell him for over £1 million, that would be great. What all of that meant is, in addition to the signing of Ahmet Bektas, which we had in the last episode for £6 million, again, we'll make a profit on him. I'm not too worried. We're also on deadline day, got in one of our first choice options in the summer. So we should have been more patient really and not got Alex Pena in, because he's probably going to end up going after a year now. Whereas Sam Hunt, the player who we wanted to sign but was too good and went to Chelsea as a wonder kid, has now joined us on loan for the season. 14.5 grand a week being paid, not a terrible wage really. And that's where I'd rather spend my wages, on wonder kids that are coming in and improving the side short term while our youngsters develop. So Hunt, 3-star ability, 5-star potential. He started pretty well, although he's not quite match fit till now. So I think he's going to have a big future ahead of him. And hopefully, like some of the others with Reyes, with McDonald, with Simancas, we can keep him for 2 or 3 years and really improve him. So a bit of an eventful end to the window, something we don't normally say at Bangor City. Let's have a look at what that's done to us on the pitch. You were with me last time as we beat Apoel in the second leg of a pretty comfortable Champions League qualifier. We've had loads of games since then, I think 11 in total, and we've only conceded 1 goal, which shows how well we've tightened up. We won 3-0 at home to Carmarthen on the opening day of the Welsh Premier League season. Ironically, Pasiarek and Broom the first 2 scorers, neither of them at the club now. And Kresimir Loza, proving to Pasiarek that you can go out on loan and come back and do well, even from Brentford as well. Away to Dinamo Bucharest in the first leg of the Champions League playoff round, we won 3-0. It was a really comfortable display. Kane Walters with 2, Harvey Lloyd with 1. Exemplary performance on the road. And then the backups beat Carnarvon 8-1 in the Welsh League Cup. We've got a hat-trick for Broadbent early doors at the club, and then one each for Davis, McWilliams, Strom, Weaver, who's left as well, and Alan Hogan, a 15-year-old winger out of the youth academy, but can cover up front. Came on and got his goal. You can't ask for much more than that. A 5-0 win in a reverse fixture against Dinamo Bucharest. 2 late goals aided by a red card with 15 left. That got Lloyd Goulding his hat-trick after Pena and Walters had got one apiece. And you can see further down here, we have got a stinker of a Champions League group. PSG and Manchester City will destroy us. So we are not going to get through to the last 16. However, the fourth side is a bit of a home banker in Rijeka. And we've already managed to take points off them. And hopefully it's a guaranteed 6 points for us. Going into September though, we started with a win against Newtown. An 11th minute red card led to an 8-0 victory. 5 for Kane Walters, 2 for Lloyd Goulding and 1 for Ruben Reyes. Ironically, Walters barely scored apart from that. The same result then against Haverfordwest at home. We're that much better than the bottom teams in the league. We're really starting to see a gulf now between the top half and the bottom half. Jones, 4 for Goulding on this occasion, 2 for Bulkley and 1 for Whittaker. A 2-0 win away at Cardiff Met Uni. They actually held us off pretty well and we struggled to get on top in that one. Bulkley and Goulding eventually with the goals. But Cardiff Met Uni, I would argue, better than TNS this year given their signings. Against Swansea Uni, the same result, Broadbent and Bulkley with 1 apiece before the big 3-0 win at home to Rijeka. 2 for Goulding, 1 for Loza off the bench, and a really solid display. We didn't look like conceding at any point in that match. A 6-0 win followed away at Barrytown United. 3 for Goulding, 1 for Walters, and 2 for Tom Jones, returning in the league. And in the same result against Brickfield in the League Cup third round. 4 for Broadbent, 1 for Loza, and 1 for Ludemir Srom. So a lot of change at the club, and I guess this cup game gives you an indicator of what our backup team's like. Morgan and Nenov, the fullbacks there. Young Gethin Davis was in the middle. The likes of Jennings, Whelan, Bellis all featured off the bench. So we're trying to get those younger players through the academy and into the squad a lot more. And if our backup team can be almost all academy players, that bodes really well for the future. So that's what we look like. Let's go and have a quick look at the end of the Welsh transfer window, because it was a very strange end actually. Not a huge amount of transfers, lots of them going from the top domestic clubs to the lower ones. Whether it's as loan deals or freebies, it doesn't really matter. Sam Martin, one of our former youth players though, chose Bala in the end rather than Barry and TNS. So he's going to get regular football there and help them. I think that's probably a good thing for the long term. Bashir Humphreys left TNS last summer. He's gone to Swansea Uni. And then in a week or so before that, I know we've dominated it largely, but there were a few really good signings. So Cardiff Met Uni signed Jamal Watts, a really good striker, only 22 years of age. If I very quickly show you their front four now, you'll see why I'm quite excited about them. Because Cardiff Met Uni this summer have signed him and have also signed Jack Delaney, who is a top quality player. We looked at him as the 4th choice striker. We mentioned that last time round. They've still got Paul Roberts from last year, who's a fabulous goal scorer at this level. And they've also got Cole Lacey, our former youth player, as a number 10. So that is probably one of the best front fours in the league. Certainly the best after ours, I would say. And they've even got Aaron Gibbons as well, another one of our former youngsters. So really good to see Cardiff Met Uni doing well. We'd love to have them back in Europe next year. Otherwise, TNS a little bit disappointing. Barrytown United didn't do anything. I'm quite disappointed in truth by how the window ended in Hull for the Welsh Premier League. TNS didn't get any signings in. But what I didn't realise, when you go out of the 3rd league round qualifying in a Champions League, you don't have a playoff. You go straight into the Europa League group stages. And not only have TNS managed to do that, they've got a pretty decent draw, albeit Tottenham will be the mainstay in that group. They will give them a battering, albeit it'll be a great payday. But then they've got Cercle Bruges of Belgium and Mladar Boleslav of the Czech Republic, and they've already beaten Cercle Bruges on the opening day. So maybe that's contributing to their poor league form either side of the European matches. Certainly looks like it at the moment. And ironically, if we get through in the SPFL Trust Trophy, we'll be playing TNS there too. So TNS make the group stages of Europe again, a massive step for Welsh football. We need them to come and join us. Unfortunately, Bala Town weren't able to do the same. They got battered by Motherwell over 2 legs. And Swansea Uni, the side we were disappointed that qualified for Europe, and we were proven right. A 5-0 defeat to the Russians, Arsenal 2 on aggregate, after a battering by Cercle Bruges, who, as you've seen, TNS have coped with really well. So we've got to hope that we get our preferred size in Europe moving forward. It looks like Cardiff and Barry are going to do that this year. Colwyn Bay, we'd certainly like to join them as the other professional side, and then TNS just need to claw their way back up. It's almost better if Cardiff Met Uni get second or Barry, and then TNS get third, because I trust TNS to win a game in the qualifying for the Europa League, and probably not anyone else. So we'll see how that pans out, but let's go and head into our game against our former title rivals. The big one today, we've got largely a first team out because we've got 5 days till the Champions League match. We've had to rest a couple who have struggled for fitness. So Bektas has had a little knock, he's been dropped to the bench today. We've also left Tom Jones out with his heavy match load. And we've tried to keep the squad as strong as possible aside from that. So Samankas in goal, McDonald and Gwyn Morgan covering as the fullbacks with Kelly and Whittaker at centre half. Lloyd, Reyes, Sam Hunt the new man and Bulkley the midfield diamond with Gordon and Walters up front. And in youngsters like Whelan and Nenov, Geffen Davis and Tom Jones all on the bench to be called upon. So let's go and get into it. It should be a comprehensive win. But maybe TNS start to find their form today. Only 5 subs for TNS, but lots of familiar names, a few new signings in as well. And Vanadas is now becoming the best player in the league, probably outside of us and Jack Delaney, the new signing at Cardiff Met Uni. So let's get into the first half. It should be pretty comfortable here at Nantporth. TNS have been shocking so far. We've got a free kick 30 yards out though. We know Kyo Bulkley absolutely loves this range. Goes for the free kick just over the bar. Really good effort. And we were almost on our way, but TNS hold out. No shots on target just yet, as we've got a throw on the left with Gwyn Morgan to Walters. Had a bit of a weird season. A couple of games with 2 goals, couple of games with 4, 5, and then no others the whole season. As Bulkley with the Rabona back, Sam Hunt brought down. It's going to be a penalty kick for Bangor City. Gordon steps up, 12 yards against the TNS goalkeeper Garton, puts it against the post, and Garton picks it up on the rebound. Not good enough, we should have picked Bulkley. Remains goalless with a quarter of an hour gone. As we've got another attacking throw with Gwyn Morgan into Walters on the left, gives it away to Warren Bell, and is cleared downfield by TNS. But Whittaker gets it as we camp them inside their own half. As McDonald goes down the right wing, chance to cross it in, Hunt's there first, almost gets his first goal for the club. The woodwork denies him. He's out for another throw-in. TNS survive a quarter of the game. And we're back in exactly the same position on that right wing. 6 minutes to half time. And TNS doing really well to hold out. McDonald with a big shot though blocked. Back to him at the edge for Ruben Reyes. Switches left to Gwyn Morgan. That's a fabulous strike. Spent 2 years on loan at TNS when he was younger. But Gwyn Morgan cutting in from left back. With a lovely finish into the bottom corner. It's been coming for a long time. We eventually get it. And it looks like we're going to lead 1-0 at the break. As Hunt gets it from a short free kick. Gwyn Morgan overlapping on the left and able to pick it up. Finds Hunt again, having a much better game today. Reyes to Gordon, edge of the box. Wonderful strike, but the flag goes up. And that's disallowed for offside. TNS survive at 1 at the break, but it's been a thoroughly dominant performance. Let's go and get into the second half, ask the lads to prove a point, and hopefully we can add to the score and put some gloss on it. And we are back with what looks like a free kick just outside the box. If Bulkley scores this as we pass the hour mark, he does just that. Wonderful free kick from Kyo Bulkley. And now we can go and bring on 3 of the youngsters because Bulkley has wrapped up this result for sure and TNS are well and truly beaten. So let's see who we can take off here. Both strikers have been really poor. I'm not sure if either of our number 10s are going to be able to play up there well. Tempted to give Tom Jones a go because what else have we got we can do with him? I'm going to rest Bulkley, who's particularly tired. I'm going to have to bring on Broadbent, I think. As much as I'd like to bring on different people. Can Sam Hunt play up front? He can't. So we're going to have to do it. Walters will be replaced by Broadbent. We'll put Jones up front alongside him. And then in midfield, I'll bring on young Geffen Davis. Whelan had a heavy match load anyway. We know that Nenov's looking nervous. So for now, they're the changes we're going to make. Well, 4 minutes to go. That's gone by pretty comfortably, hasn't it? Garter makes a good save from a long-range Harvey Lloyd free kick. We did make one slight tactical tweak. I saw Geffen Davis was actually an unconvincing striker. So we've chucked him up there as a utility man and put Jones back in his preferred role. It's made no difference though. It's been a really dull game the last 20. As Lloyd puts the ball into the back post, Whittaker can't get there. And I think this is what we're seeing now in the Welsh Premier League. The good sides, or the better sides, the likes of TNS and Cardiff Met Uni, are able to hold us out for sort of 2-0 victories. They're able to peg us back even when we're playing largely a first team. Whereas as soon as we play the bottom teams in the league, if we've got our first 11 out, We're a complete whipping, boys. We've got another penalty kick here. It'll be taken by... Let's give it to Broadbent. He's had one this season and scored it. He's looked really good. He's scored whenever he's played. He's a proper poacher, despite playing in the advanced forward role. He steps up right-footed. That one's missed as well. 2 penalties to date. Neither of them go in. And it stays at 2-0. And it's another penalty, is it? He's given one from the rebounds. Absolutely ridiculous. This one will be taken by Broadbent again. And surely, third time lucky, we're going to score a penalty kick, are we? Broadbent into the bottom corner. Thank God they weren't important to the result, because otherwise we would have been spitting feathers. 3-0 Bangor City, comprehensive win. And we get to look forward to PSG in midweek. That one, probably going to be a little bit more on the back foot, I would say. We're back for our game against PSG on the Wednesday night, but I've got to say, we're starting to see problems with TNS. They've lost again. They've got 7 points from 8 games. They're doing really well in Europe. And we saw it with Linfield in our Ballymena livestream series on Twitch, where they got into the European groups, did really well, but the schedule in the league just absolutely ruined them. And I wonder if Jordan Willis will end up getting sacked. So I'll wait and keep an eye on things in that regard. However, we have got a big match. I want to very quickly talk to you about Kyle Bulkley, who's still not ended his unhappiness. But we, this summer, on deadline day, received an offer of £40 million in total. 30 million up front with 10 million of add-ons and a sell-on fee from Borussia Dortmund. That's how good this guy is. He's world class. Look at his attributes. He's genuinely world class. It's the first player we've produced that's like that. And don't forget, Mubarak Whelan's got the same potential, which would suggest at 15 years of age, we could have one hell of a player on our hands. Let's go and get into this game though. Going to be a lot more on the back foot, a lot more behind the ball. PSG still got a world class side. Let's get our strongest 11 picked and we'll be back in a moment to run through it. So a pretty well-known first 11, but a much more experienced bench. Mackenzie, Matai, Pena all brought in, and McWilliams, and a few of the youngsters, the likes of Broadbent, Davis, Morgan, and the injured Strom dropping out. So what that means for today in terms of changes to the 11 is Ahmet Bektas in at left back. The rest of it stays exactly the same. But on the bench, we've got a lot more experience. We've got a lot we can call upon. So let's see if we can keep the score down against France's finest. And to give you an indication, a warning to close down Camavinga. We've also got Eric Garcia there at centre half. They've got Mason Greenwood on the bench. And they've got some world-class regens as well. So the likes of Mateus and Benali. Gianniotis is one of the best players in world football. It's an incredible PSG team. Bulkley's a little bit nervous and hesitant, which doesn't bode well. But we're going to drop to a balanced mentality. We're going to be as strong as we can. And we hope Semankas can have the game of his life, because he's going to need to if we've got any chance of keeping this respectable. Having said that, I would have taken this first quarter of a game. As Camavinga's in, it's just cleared off the line. It's blocked by Kelly and behind by Reyes. Before that, we'd only had one highlight, which was a bit of a nothing. Oh, it's been a really good performance defensively. Gianniotis loses out in the air and Bulkley can bring it away. We've only had the one shot on target. Must have been a pretty ambitious effort because it's 0.01 on the expected goals front. And PSG probably unlucky not to be ahead. They've had a couple of great chances. And that one right down Simankas's throat. Gianniotis really should have scored. And he's got the quality to do so. As Whittaker plays out from the back. Didn't look particularly good there. A little bit laboured but found his man. And Harvey Lloyd goes back to Simankas. It's just about clinging on. If we can keep this 1 or 2-0, it's a brilliant performance. Because Rijeka will get battered. And that helps us on the goal difference front. We have to get third and stay in Europe after Christmas. As Razzo gets in on the right wing. Crosses into the front post. Kelly beats Benali to it. Harvey Lloyd away. Walters in down the left-hand side. Got Gordon and Bulkley in support. Walters goes alone here. Gets to the left side of the box. Cross deflects into Bulkley. And he's hit the post. That was that one chance a game you get against these big sides. And unfortunately, it just misses by a whisker. Bektas gets it on the left to Hunt, and he gives it away to Conlon. We were growing into the game there. And this is the thing, for as much as we get dominated, with that front three now, as they're in for 1-0 with Benali, we've got players that can cause a threat against the best opposition in the world. Kyle Bulkley is a £40 million player now. Walters and Goulding both wanted by top sides in England and Scotland. We know that these are good footballers now. Having said that, PSG take the lead. They take advantage of our error. And it looks like we're going to fall to a defeat on the opening day. Manchester City battering Rijeka. Jude Bellingham amongst the goals there. So that helps us out in terms of getting to the Europa League after Christmas. As Ruben Reyes nicks it, can we get a goal? Can we get an equaliser for our fans to cheer about? Lloyd Golding in down the right. There's 5 in the box here. Camavinga's beaten to it. It's into Sam Hunt. Falls for Reyes. Falls for Bulkley. He's had 2 brilliant chances in this game as Kyle Bulkley. One hits the post. One telegraph for the keeper. And at half time, it might be 1-0 PSG. They might have dominated the match. But on the break, we've had 2 great chances and could well have been ahead here. Let's get into the second half. The lads putting in a brilliant display. And hopefully we can keep it 1 for as long as possible. As Razzo throws in from the right, Bektes heads away. Bulkley brings it down and goes long to Walters. PSG have left the 2-on-2 here. Walters into the box. He nearly gets in as well. Grima makes the save. On the break, we look world class. Bulkley is top class talent. We've got 2 electric quick strikers in form. But unfortunately, the corner straight into the keeper's arms. And we've now wasted 3 brilliant chances to get level in this game. Ruben Reyes then picks up an injury as well. This could turn into a very bad episode, particularly with Srom out as well. And despite Kaya Bulkley's quality, Ruben Reyes on loan, still just about our best player according to the assistant. I'm going to bring on, I think, Henry McWilliams, because I want a bit of a dog's body in there. I don't know if Peña's good enough physically for a game of this magnitude. So I'm going to stick with McWilliams. We're going to be a bit more defensive. And we're just going to leave the front 3 to do the attacking here. I've got to say though, over 15 minutes into this second half, PSG have not yet had a shot. Camavinga gets the ball on the left-hand side from the throw-in. He's got a chance to play central and does just that to Padilla. He's opened up for him. It's a brilliant strike. And it's in off the inside of the post. That is the quality we cannot compete with. 2-0 PSG, a fabulous performance. I'm going to bring on either Peña or Tom Jones. I think we're going to do Peña. We'll save Jones for the league. He'll come on for Sam Hunt. And then in the number 10, maybe we do the same with Bulkley. Or do we maybe take off Harvey Lloyd while he's not on a yellow? McWilliams into the holding role. Bulkley into the diamond. Tom Jones on as the number 10. That's what we're going to do for the last 20 minutes. And Tom Jones gets more experience at the top level. Rijeka are now 4 down. That really helps us. We need to better their results really in these matches. As Camavinga goes long to Conlon. Into the area. Now will the tired legs show. Good challenge, McDonald. Brings it away. I thought a penalty had been given there. But he brings it away cleanly. As it's headed away by the B to Greenwood, the substitute. What a player to bring on. And almost scores a fabulous goal. 15 left. We've got to keep this down. It's going to be awful hard with the tired legs out there. We're going through stoppage time though. We've managed to keep it down. City beat Rijeka 6-0. That really helps us. And we're going to have to rotate heavily against Aberystwyth because those lads are going to be shattered from chasing the ball around. Really good start to the group for us though. We can't expect to beat City or PSG. We've just got to get ahead of Rijeka. Now please don't let this Ruben Reyes injury be bad. 1 to 3 days. We can live with that. Everyone will get rested against Aberystwyth anyway. We've got a big game in a week's time against Linfield. That one in the SPFL Trust Trophy. We want to keep everyone fit for that one because we've struggled in that competition the last couple of years. And then we will be back at the start of November. We've got a big home game against Manchester City. We'll have been beaten by them away from home for sure. And we'll show one of the games either side of it or focus on something else off the pitch. If you did enjoy this episode though, a good effort against PSG and fabulous form in every other game, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think of TNS's contrast in form from Europe to domestic action. And of course what you thought at the end of the Welsh transfer window. Are we finally going to get our dream team in Europe? Or are TNS now going to let the side down? Let me know what you think down there. If you want to stay up to date and find out, please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. New episodes from this series every weekday at 3:30 and the odd special over the weekends as well. We've got live streams on Twitch, to which you can find the link in the eye above. And there's loads of other playlists and a football podcast up there too. A massive thank you for watching though and your continued support of the series. It really is appreciated. And I'll see you next time for more big Champions League action, as we'll have our eyes firmly on TNS in the Europa League too. I'll see you there.